I'm here to help you with your first grade skills lessons. Today we're on Unit 2, Lesson 6. My name is Miss James. Let's get started. Our objectives for today are to listen to, produce, and distinguish words with a long vowel sound I, read and write one-syllable words with long vowel sound I, segment and blend to form and write one-syllable words with long vowel I and short vowel I, read with purpose and understanding, as well as answer questions about a story. We're going to get started with the new sound, I. Repeat after me, I. Let's say the sound 5 times. Ready? I. 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 Now, let's practice saying some words that have the sound I at the beginning. Repeat after me. Ice. Item. Idea. Island. Now let's practice some words that have I in the middle. Bike. Nice. Sign. Time. Do you hear that sound in the middle? It's a little trickier to hear it in the middle. Let's say some words that have the sound I at the end. Pie. Fly. Tie. Try. Now think about this. Is the sound I a vowel sound or a consonant sound? Are you keeping your breath in by blocking the air? Or are you letting it out when you say I? My mouth is open. That means it's a vowel sound. I'm going to say some words and I want you to raise your hand if you hear the sound I. Listen carefully. I'll do it along with you, but do your best. Ready? Pine. 5. Cat. Tin. Dine. Bed. Line. Lane. Great job. Give yourselves a pat on the back. If you got those all right, thumbs up. We'll keep practicing those as we go along. Now we're going to look at the spelling for the sound I. Here we have I space E, just like the A blank space E. Together, these two letters work to make the sound I. They're another letter team. Let's look at some words that have this sound and this spelling. The first word we have is b-I-k, bike. The I-E together work to make the I say its name, bike. Here we have time, time. Again, the I and E, that letter team, works together to make the I say its name, time. Pine, pine, like a pine tree. Again, the I and E work together to make that I say its name, It says a different sound than if there was no E. There's 4 letters here, but we only hear 3 sounds. Let's try reading those again. B, I, K. But there's 4 letters, only 3 sounds, because that letter team makes that sound together, and the E is quiet at the end. It's silent. 3 sounds, but 4 letters. We have to remember that when we're writing the words. Let's look at our vowel code card. I did it again. This one's a vowel, our vowel code card. We have the sound I and the spelling I blank E. The power bar isn't very long, so that means it's not very common. There are going to be other spellings for the sound I. For example, here in the word bite, you have B-I-T-E. You see the letter team? Whenever we see the spelling I blank E for the next couple of lessons, you'll see it in bold like this. So you can remember that it makes a different sound. The I doesn't say I, it says I, its name, when there's an E at the end. Let's go to page 6.1 in your workbooks and practice some words that have I in them. Just like when we did a blank E, I'm going to say a word, and then we're going to add an E and see what new word we make. Let's read the example. Here we have in, pin. But when we add an E, the sound for the I is going to change. P-I-N, pine. For number 1, I want you to write the word kit. K-I-T, kit. Then we're going to write it again, but add an E at the end and see what new word we make. Let's see. Now this letter is going to say I, K-I-T, kite. Let's try another example. For number 2, write the word fin. Let's sound it out. I-N. Now let's write it with an E at the end and see what new word we have. Remember, the magic E is going to make the I say I. Ein. Fine. We turned fin into fine. Let's do a couple more. For number 3, let's start with the word shin. Let's start with the word shin. Remember, sh is one sound, but 2 letters. So we wrote SH on that first line. Sh, I, N. Now let's add an E. Sh. This letter is going to say something different now that we have an E at the end. Oh, you can't see my E. Hold on 1 second. Now you can see my E. Let's see what this one says. Shine. We changed shin to shine. Next, let's write the word slid. L-I-D. Then let's write it with an E at the end and see what new word we've made. Let's see. First we had slid, but now we changed this sound to I because of our magic E. Slide. Slide. We changed slid to slide. Let's try just one more. Let's write the word spin. Now let's write it with an E at the end. And see what new word we made. Our magic E is going to make the I say I. Ready? I. Spine. We changed spin to spine. Great job. Give yourselves a round of applause. This is tricky and you're doing fantastic work. Next, we've got a new story for today. Let's see what we're going to read about in our Gran book. Here we've got the swim meet. Have you ever heard of a swim meet? It's kind of like a swim race. They divide the lanes in the pool and a swimmer swims straight down. There's buoys on two sides to keep the swimmer right in the middle so they don't go off and run into someone else. And you'll see when we look at the picture that you start the race up on a block and then dive into the pool. Let's see what words we have to look at today before we begin. Repeat after me. Like, lines, 5, dive, time, smile. Those all have our new sound I. Lane, make, wave. Those all have our sound A. Let's get started on our story about the swim meet. We're going to read to discover if Josh and Jen win the swim meet. I'd like you to practice your reading. Pause the video here and try to read this page on your own first. When you're all done reading, press play and then we can read it together. So pause the video and read the page, then press play so we can read it together. The swim meet. Josh and Jen like to swim. They take Gran to their swim meet. Jen lines up in lane 5. Josh lines up in lane 6. The kids are up on the blocks. Then there is a beep. All the kids dive in. Splash! Swim! Yells Gran. Swim fast! See how they said that Jen was in lane 5 and there's a 5 on this block? And Josh is in lane 6. He has a 6 on his block. And then when the beeper goes off, they jump in the water and they swim in a straight line. See, here's those buoys I was talking about so they don't run into each other while they're swimming. Let's go to the next page. We're going to do the same thing. Pause the video here, read the page on your own, and then press play and we'll read it together to get some good reading practice. So pause the video, read the page on your own, then press play and we'll read it together, and I'll help you with any words you got stuck on. Josh and Jen swim as fast as they can. They swim and swim. In no time, they make it to the end. Did Josh win? Asked Gran. Did Jen win? Josh and Jen wave and smile. They did not win, but they had a lot of fun. Now, if you need some more time to look at the pages, you can pause the video. You can always go back in the video to look at the pages too to answer your questions. Next, we're going to answer some questions together. Then, you'll complete your Google form for today and answer some questions about that story. Where are the kids at the start of this race? They're up on those blocks ready to jump off. What do you think the beep is at the swim meet? Well, we know the beep means to go. It could be a little buzzer, maybe somebody's phone, saying beep and go. What do the kids do when it beeps? They jump in the water and start swimming. Does Josh or Jen win the race? No, they said they didn't win the race, but they still had fun. What do Josh and Jen do at the end of the race? I'm going to go back and look at the story. At the end of the race, they come out and talk to Gran. That's right. They wave and smile and tell her they didn't win, but they had so much fun. Now for your workbook page 6.2, there's a Google form to fill out. It has all the same questions as this page. Fill that out and submit it, and that's all we've got for today. Great job! I'll see you next time.